As anyone who's ever worked in DPS can tell you, replace the word water fountain with politician and it still fits. Can you tell someone to fix these politicians? All these politicians don't work, and the ones that do are so filthy you can't even use them. Let the politicians run for a little until the brown stops coming out altogether. No, sorry. We don't have enough money to fix these politicians this year. Maybe next decade. All I've ever needed to know about America, I can find driving from a Detroit school to an Ann Arbor.
People often find it easier to be a result of the past than a cause of the future. And no freedom has ever begun without forming the questions you're afraid to ask, because the answer will transform the world as you know it. Are you willing to ask? Are you willing to hear the answer? Are you willing to stand with yourself until you've made it right? Are you willing to ask? Are you willing to hear the answer? Are you willing to stand with yourself until you've made it right? Are you willing to ask? Are you willing to hear the answer? Are you willing to stand with yourself until you've made it right? All right. Please take your water, and if it resonates for you to do so, put it in your left hand. And go ahead and resume your restful position. But you have your water because we are going to charge this water today. Is that all right? Mm-hmm. All right. Resume your restful position. I invite you to close your eyes. Go back into the dark. Because what do we do in the dark? Ashe. From your restful position in your dream space, we're going to explore grief, and we're going to do it real gentle, okay? In your dream space, resting, just listen. We're going to turn a little work out here. And then we're going to ask you to open your eyes and turn the work with us. Is that all right? Okay.
In honor of Thomas Nquinde, Mama Sandra, Vincent Chin, Ishmael Duran, Alondria Williams, Uncle Vernon, all those we've lost in COVID, outside of it, and to the violence of this state. When we lose someone we love, their body at rest, there is still a wild, dissonant music to reckon with. We give it time to spill, shapeless, expansive, non-linear, and realize one day, even in our withdrawn silence, the banshee has still and always been us, deafening, grief, without a leash of grace. We break down into sorrowful instruments, and our second music wails, brings the walls to tears, the air thick as church humidity, and yet the beloved names like chamomile on our tongue, like watermelon into the river. We reminisce tiny summers into their memory. We wait for rain. And if our end be wrong, be violent, another young ballad pirated from its own muscle by yet another delicate white apathy, holding yet another weapon as fragile as its own American history, the cruel world asking, what do you want to be when you don't get to grow up? The stolen body, and everyone who loves that body, that life, answers in hurricane, dances, every gun, every hateful bill, clean off the map, disperses, learns how to say each other's names without a mouth for the first time, and somewhere all the water in a cop's blood quits, stops their organs, snatches their failing music, rinses it, and gives it to a mother as a song for them to get out of bed for again.
And just feel. Take a moment. I invite you to feel where grief is stored in your body. What part of your body is midnight for your grief? And just tap into that part of yourself, that part of your body. And let's send it some love, because there's been so much to grieve lately. And please tap into that part of yourself, your midnight, the midnight of your grief. And give it permission to have its say right now. In a moment, I'll ask us to take a deep breath. And on our exhale, I'll ask you to speak the name of an ancestor who's crossed over to the other side in reverence of them. I ask you to do this to undam the water of our grief so it can flow. I'll ask us to do this 4 times. So don't worry, there's no pressure. If the first time you're like, nothing, it's okay. It will come as it needs to come, okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Deep breath in. And on your exhale, release the name of an ancestor who's crossed to the other side.
Shirley Kimber.
Sherman Sharp. Yes. Deep breath in. And on your exhale, release the name of an ancestor who's crossed to the other side. Yes. Deep breath in. And on your exhale, release the name of an ancestor who's crossed to the other side.
Legacy Leonard.
Rodriguez. Yes. One more. And this time, if you just want to make a sound, that's fine too. Deep breath in. And on your exhale, let your grief have its say. Thank you. Is it all right to let the river rise to rage? Thank you. Go ahead and resume your restful position. If your eyes are open, allow yourself to rest and go back into the dark, because what do we do in the dark? Yes. In the dark, rest and just listen and feel in your body, where is the midnight of my rage?
Come celebrate with me. Every day something that's tried to kill me. Yeah, Phil. Come celebrate with me. Every day something that's tried to kill me. Yeah. Phil. Pardon all this hubris, Judas, you just cannot cross what God produces. Crucifix your mouth to speak agnostic. Apocalypse your lips abusive. Yusuf, Komayaka, Shaka, Zulu, Chakra, Voodoo, Cock-a-doodle. These acapellas. Rock your crew to retreat. Rock your futile attempt to tempt my death. Shit. Gotta come harder than that. All my life been working from a deficit. I swear. Surviving might be the blackest thing all my life been working from a deficit, I swear. Surviving might be the blackest thing All my life been working from a deficit, I swear. Thriving might be the realest thing I ever did.
Take a deep breath in. And just tap into the part of your body that carries your rage. Knowing that your rage is exquisite. Your rage is necessary. Your rage is a protector. It knows how sacred you are. And it also knows how to hold these systems accountable. It knows how to divorce these systems. Yep. Your rage is necessary. Yep. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath and to breathe into the midnight of your rage. And when you exhale, I'm going to ask you to let your rage have its say. Because we never, ever, ever, ever get to be angry. And we have the right to be very angry. You ready? Deep breath in. And as you exhale, make the sound of your rage. Yes! Can you do 3 more? Okay. Can you do it? Okay. It's up to you. All right. Take a deep breath in. And when you exhale, release your rage.
Chase. I want to reiterate the thank you. Thank you for bringing us together, Chin. Thank you for bringing us together. Thank you to these lovely readers I get the pleasure of reading with. And thank y'all for coming out tonight. Fate brought us together. I'm excited that y'all are here. Hopefully you leave with a good word. I'm going to jump right into it. So over the pandemic, I wrote these things I was just calling reditorials or meditorials. I didn't really have a title for it, but I was writing these poems because as we all were in those times, and we're still in those times, we were trying to figure out what the hell was going on, and so we were writing. My way was poetry, and so I was writing kind of like daily poems about current things that were popping up or that would come to me. So this first poem is one of those. We'll call it Otherwise, and it was based off of a rewatch of Donnie Darko. If anyone's seen Donnie Darko, the laughers know what Donnie Darko is. It's an odd watch if you haven't watched it, but it's a beautiful movie in its own right. And there's a quote in there where a teacher, I believe it was Drew Barrymore, she says the most beautiful combination of words in the English language is cellar door. And I always thought that was just an interesting concept of what is the most beautiful combination of words to you. And I had heard somebody at the time say the words otherwise. And I thought otherwise was just a beautiful combination of words. And the concept of, like, we use it as like a, kind of a connector, but the idea of other wisdom in a time of like fake smartness and misinformation and having to base yourself on another intelligence that sometimes is beyond your eyes. Otherwise. In times where wisdom fails, let me be otherwise. I know the giant oak across the street from my house is switchboarding convos between me and Uncle Vernon's heaven, which is different than Papa's heaven, which is different than our dog Bo's. I know the molasses croon of my mother chops the river right below its surface, and if I baptize faithfully into natural quiet, there she is, laughing, behind my eyes. Deja vu dream church beneath my skin, mercury boned. I retrograde out a party without saying a word when the vibe rots. May my body ferrule out its last stitch of shame, possessed by the mutual rage of a drum traded vote for votive in salt circles, chanting triplet outside in November chill like a possessed Migos after empathy won the popular vote and still conceded the clout. Love didn't even get an in memoriam at the Oscars this year. Cut short shooting to a commercial about a pill that seats the body like a conservative judge. I have not lost my mind and expatriated to humid Colombia and is beckoning me to follow. Crazy, they say I look like you. For wearing white with sing-song gravitas like a full moon. For growing money under its light. Trading faces with it every month, for keeping the candles lit and guessing cancers and Aquariuses under my breath with stunning accuracy, for quitting the job and quitting the Job and returning the victim back to the deck, for pulling a new card, for loving Obatala and Oshun like rings in my own oak, for ancient but family. Crazy? Listen, since I never met the man, I claim you as my father. I listen intently to you. As we share a brew in the rain, my ears decode the wind at the last minute, and I turn and take the back way or the long way, and I avoid the accident by the exact timing of my lateness. Otherwise, it's such a beautiful song, misquoted, underused, obscure vinyl I chop and sample into sentences of small talk and other performances. I choose it today as one of my names. Otherwise, like the fungi turning a Gulf oil spill into a bed of tulips or a shirt pocket Bible blocking the bullet. Otherwise, like the family dog sensing sickness, ulcer, to uncle, or the pocket juvenile found in the song Ha, or July evening in Treme when I found myself crawling through the hook of that song again, Bayou Mud in my 38th year, but this time discovering feather and bead and Olay and cane juice. I exist for me and the beautiful woman who's owned my heart this last decade, and we scatter our bones chicken-like across crisp white linen and read better futures for ourselves in our leisure, loyal to my intuition like the stubborn ache of an old knee in the rain. I know when to run the streets like a surprise 77 degrees in January, and when to stay my ass home. Otherwise, let's hit this one. Let's do this one. Yeah, let's do this one. Switch. So another one of the poems I wrote was during the time where we were finding out like a lot of the newspapers that we enjoyed, that we liked, were closing. The journals that we read that gave us information were closing. Twitter was getting bought by Elon Musk, and like all these like information reservoirs that we were finding where we were dependable was becoming like non-dependable. You know what? I'm gonna read that one next. This is about reopening the economy. This is what I'm gonna do. This is what everybody was saying, reopen the economy. The poem is called Reopen the Economy, and it was just written around the idea that there were two different economies that people were asking to be open. There was the economy that never closed, that people demanded because they felt entitled to certain things and did not want to collectively be safe. And then there was a whole economy that opened magically for 2 seconds in the lockdown, if everybody remembers, when everything was free and gas was cheap and everybody had things. And this is my complicated feelings around that. God, reopen the economy. They screamed, reopen the economy, and I responded, hey, fuck you, man. Our economy never closed. Cashing your thoughtless self out at the register, lambeering the 20-second pack of toilet paper from your shopping cart, deciding between asthma or door dashing your chicken tenders right to your porch, prioritizing your order over the governor's for the 2-star rating and the $1 tip you cut me with because the restaurant forgot your honey mustard. Explaining myself to the cops, you called on me. Fist fighting you at the front door of Costco because you refused to wear a mask. Asking you to maintain 6 feet at checkout as you counter theory the latest epidemiologists using your dedicated masters in YouTube. Been here. Open as an abandoned house, still bone sturdy with copper. What else can I give you? Here's the very breath from my lungs, the clotted right leg. I'm here, socially undistanced at the meatpacking plant, removing the list of homeless shelters you quietly taped to my door of my apartment after I told you I was furloughed from my job due to 8 confirmed cases and 2 deaths, turned away from your emergency room with flu-like symptoms and trouble breathing. But yes, I got your 4th Corona Rita. They scream, reopen the economy. And I ask for whom? Which door? 36 years and I've never seen so many doors open. Aisha juggled 3 knife-shaped jobs to feed her family of 4 because the state enjoys the circus of a black woman death-defying with no net. Now the fridge eating up to the tune of $500 a month. My sisters are making more money at their new job of not having a job than they did at their old one. Jericho everywhere I look, paywalls tumbling down, woke up on the west side of Detroit and was in Cali one-on-one with Timberland learning sample flipping before coffee thawed the sleep from my crusted eye. I haven't paid a utility bill in weeks, months. Bad Wi-Fi is the great equalizer. Celebrity is dead. I am coming through clear. Fro biblical. Errant hair is patching the cheeks of my finest blaxploitation, half fly, half pajamas. Depression is holding a sharp worry to the throat of a neglectful, faceless senator for once, got them talking 4-day work weeks and monthly stipends and student loan forgiveness. I had a 12-hour meditation yesterday of video games and limeade in which I forgave myself. I plan for more Then the next meal, washed all my clothes, found 42 lost socks, wardrobe looking like Avengers Endgame, grapefruit and Costco croissant for breakfast, sauteed garlic and onions, the good cheese, splurged on the red wine. 2 blocks over, gas is 49 cents. We are open over here. Jody got a healthcare provider for the first time since adulthood. I've never seen so many grant applications. Not asking for 700 words of my pain. Relief has become the new religion. Rena ordered new couch foam, cushion foam and pillow covers. We've been symbiotic with the couch, not one muscle spasm and shame. Capitalism texts, hey, big head, 12 days ago. Still left on red. She building pillow forts with his kids between conference calls, and I'm on my 5th rewatch of Queen Sugar, and I say all this to say, this is my new normal. I say all this to say I'm never going back to that normal. Quarantine has become my true president. Access rights laws and judges my court. All it took was equity was a death no one could buy their way out of. A death that rich politicians couldn't lobby for allegiance. I do not say this with glee or pride. Yes, the grief collects in a queue just off screen, vivids my dreams. That is, if they even show up. They ride shotgun next to sleep most nights, patrolling wherever the light falls short of keeping a black protester watched and safe and seen. I wake up at 6:52, sleep at 3:45. My body disarray, but it's my disarray. I am learning and willing to learn this. I buried the husk of the old, hateful predator country in my backyard, next to whatever patriotic corpse we're living through now. They fertilized the weeds gloriously. A new flag sketched on a napkin, a constitution on the back of a stack of receipts pinned to the vision board in my office. I read them like a map. Is it locked down if you find more humanity inside of it? Was it COVID that killed my loved one, or the self-serving arrogance of a government pumped their maskless coworker with? I reopened my own economy. Care is the new dollar. Rest dictates the stock market. What's in your wallet? I'm going to do. Okay, let's do this one. I just brought up a group of poems and just doing the best I can. This poem is called New World Water. It's an excerpt from a larger poem that we've done for a ritual. I figured I'd share some of it. Yeah, we'll go there. And I wanted to share this because I was going to do an actual intro for this poem, but I told them I was going to do something different and share a weird fact on one of my poems instead of a good intro. And so I want everyone to know that Tyrese has a Benihana in his backyard. And if you don't know who Tyrese is, just look it up. Tyrese Benihana backyard. Thank me later. Okay. New World Water makes the tide rise high. 20500 White House. Can someone explain to me the difference between the American government and euthanasia? Am I not paying more and more money to people I do not know to conceive of more resolute ways to kill me? I do not know what else to call my tax dollars nowadays. Don't know what else to call this new world water cycle. Cop City anti-abortion laws, second Trump term, Project 25. Don't know what else to call books banned before assault rifles, $1 billion bomb budget, but your kids starving at home. Everything American history outside the delicate white page, coddling it. A Mississippi photo of a child's smile that crops the lynching. 48502 Flint. New World Water makes the tide rise high. It's been 5,000 days and Flint still does not have clean water. 5,000 days and you still think it's just Flint. Flint only wanted to take a bath, quiet a thirst, talk to their grandmother tomorrow, only wanted Skittles and loud music with his friends in Florida, maybe a Rello in Ferguson, maybe a cigarette in New York. You know what all water is entitled to, a park in Cleveland, to imagine life on the other side of the gun, a store run, a cosplay, a head full of barrettes and a little sleep on a couch in Detroit, dreaming of a future drive home. A traffic stop and being alive at the end of it all. Name still intact, still a child, but not yet become the water. But no, instead, they pumped Flint full of lead. And do you know it took 11, 22, 4, 55 shots before they called Flint an investigation, before they ruled it a crime they magically committed on themselves? How many not guilties miss your heart by inches? How many politicians they empty into that boy in Baltimore? Am I mixing my murders again? 48228 Cody High School, West Side Detroit. New world water make the tide rise high. Ask anyone who's ever worked in Detroit public schools and they will tell you, replace the word water fountain with politician and it still fits. Can you tell someone to come fix these politicians? All these politicians don't work, and the ones that do are so filthy you can't even use them. Let the politicians run for a little until the brown stops coming out altogether. No, sorry. We don't have enough in the budget to replace those politicians this year, maybe next decade. All I've ever needed to know about America, I could find driving from a Detroit school to an Ann Arbor one. 48221 Detroit, 55407 Minneapolis, 40211 Louisville. There is lead in everything I love now, so I reclaim the bad metal of my blood to shape myself into good instrument for both my living love and my ancestral. Talk the water with the jazz of my spit. I transform to fulfill a promise to my dead that I could not in their life. You can become anything you want. What do you want to be when you don't get to grow up? And a black life answers in hurricane and hip hop, almost dances Florida clean off the map, disperses, learns to say their name without a mouth for the first time, and somewhere all the water in a cop's blood quits, mutes the organ, snatches the failing music, rinses it and gives it to a mourning mother as a song to get out of bed for again. New world water makes the tide rise high. I don't know about your faith, but everyone we've lost is still right there in the water. The sea level's rising is us uncivilizing our rage. There's so many of us at the bottom of the depth right now, still churning the water, always running like Minty and Shotgun, like Fred's mouth in Chicago towards a freedom. The water is ours. Taught us to bolt the body in dead descent and throw the dog. So of course they bleach the pool. Proximity to it turns the brown body into an antenna. I hear my mother anytime I take a shower. So of course they flint the source. State hates the very moisture on my breath. Chose a wage a war on the domestic soil of my lungs. $200 vaccines and not a ventilator for miles, but the water is ours. Blood intuition, Orisha kiss. A couple years back, them folks jumped that black man down in Montgomery and water carried a black boy moving boat to dock, gator speed to throw hands. Baby, I am writing this from an undiscoverable, unstealable body. A clicked up lake of wild art and improvised ritual. Out of sight, underneath the city, in a world overrun with thirst. From behind a pair of eyelids, you are too afraid to go down. In a city you can't wait to move to. From a free Detroit and Flint and Puerto Rico and Hawaii and Congo and Palestine united. A succession of clear skin and no dialysis. And that is, I think that's my time. Is that my time? That's my time. That's my time. Thank y'all again. I appreciate it.
Taking in so much magic, I'm just trying to, Jen, it is always an honor to create anything with you. Thank you for this. Emily, Kyung-hee, Chase, thank you. Thank y'all for being here. And a huge thank you to the library for having us and letting us churn this kind of magic. Thank y'all. I have 3 pieces. The first is called Vocalise. Makeup, pretty, I was too young to audition, but Grammy told me that the dean of the voice department knew that we were special. So curious, after my grandmother convinced her, she let me sing. And my grandmother nodded at me, so I let the ghost slip sideways up my marrow, slithering down to slip my shoes off my feet until they were splayed, arched cold against the floor. These ghost hands tunneling through my spine, fingers braced around my neck, rocking me. Ghosts have no voice, but they were planting sounds in my stomach, and I opened my mouth to let their harvest rise, open. This dean was astonished for a moment. Singing isn't really about singing. Who isn't intrigued by a good haunt? My grandmother had always taught me to channel pain, to let it rise up the column of my throat, a tiger leaping through fire. And she trained me to be the voice for the acid welled inside of her. And where Grammy's song was a sorrow-laden hummingbird too leaded to fly, my tongue persisted. The dean cast her gaze over me. She said, "My dear, only 12. Well, aren't you an undeveloped Kathleen Battle?" Opera is the art of wearing everyone's abandoned pain and channeling it through the body, making it pretty enough so others can experience the thrill of devastation and return home rinsed in secondhand humanity. The dean looked between the two of us, my grandmother and me, my grandmother's neck stretched in anticipation to hear whether or not we really were special, and me still heaving with this pulsating haunt, and the dean opened her arms. I had a home, because wasn't opera the natural next step? Make a pretty In violence, art can either envelop or it can exploit. The summer I turned 12, I told my grandparents that my father was violating me. And when I ran to my grandmother, she wasn't surprised, but she said, "Your father was wrong, but imagine how he feels. Go comfort him." And instead of therapy, my grandmother gave me opera, an art where our testimonies were in a language that no one understood. And when I sang, the tiger ghost clawing through my ribs came out, but people applauded her. People applauded her. Make a pretty Art either envelops or it exploits. Often exploitation masquerades as love. Exploitation. My grandmother kept delivering me to my father, more and more insistent that I needed to love him. Papa, a French restaurateur, and Grammy would bring me to the cafe to sing arias matched with the spirits he'd chosen. At 15, in perfect Italian, I'd stand next to the piano, letting the tiger ghosts climb. Batti, batti, oh bel mazzetto. Beat me. Hit me. Your poor Zerlina. And I shall stay here like a lamb and await your blows. Lascerò strozzar gli occhi. Pull out my hair and pluck out my eyes, and I shall let you do these things and happily kiss your hands afterward. Opera. I am a goat prompted to pray to the knife. The only song I'd sing in English was my grandmother's favorite. Hush, 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 little baby. And my father always led the ovation. From the back of the room, he'd bellow for me to close. "Du o mio bambino caro, Babbo Pietà." Father, pity me. Pity me. A setup. My family grinning for the photos as I wrestled with the discord. A growl choked in my belly because no one teaches you how to sing the truth. And what is the sound of betrayal?
Spread your fingers and curl them into a witch's claw and shape your mouth into an ugly, whispered, ha, and look into the emptiness of your trembling hands and let your voice heave. What is the sound of fury? Make two fists and open your mouth wide enough to swallow the entire sun and let your fists pound your thighs, and the wind has become feral and you become feral too. What is the sound of realizing that you are the sacrifice? We have not woven enough language to hold the gusts of that kind of sorrow. There is no song. Only the thunder of a sky collapsed to keep the peace. The most vulnerable person holds everybody's pain. Make it pretty. Call it aria. Call this opera. And what is the cost of belonging to a song that does not love you? Call that cacophony. Was there altruism in Grammy teaching me to channel pain? Pain is a good show. Good shows bring audiences. And audiences always laud the ringmaster because the little tiger was trained to jump through fire. This is a TETRA message. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for being in that with me. This is a TETRA message. My partner, Chase, and I, we run a digital underground railroad, a very secret project. And we send out messages. And this is message number 750. It's called The King's English. Your Eminence, isn't tonight a good night to clean house? Open the windows and let the haunt out. I'd like to call an ancestor into the room. I'd like to honor my Aunt Patricia. Your Grace, let me tell you about my Aunt Pat. She had this thunder in the very back of her throat, and she'd unlock that thunder and call you a motherfucker. Like nobody had ever pronounced it ever before. She said it like she was humming a hymn. Her curses blue-black obsidian. Black is simply the space where everything is possible. And her voice was a rumbling of indigo rasp, a velvet so luxuriously sapphire, folks didn't truly understand how dangerous it was. Her motherfucker was an anointing. If she baptized you with that honeyed smile, you ascended wholly into the land of her milk and her honey. But if you'd forgotten yourself, and she had to come to you and say what nobody else would, well, trust that this was an inferno of your own making. My great-granddaddy, her father, taught her that a woman never curses. She speaks the dictionary. She is a master of the King's English. But my Aunt Pat never apologized for the power of her instrument. I mean, didn't Gabriel have his horn? Didn't Moses play each half of the parted sea like turntables? And God gave Aunt Pat the full moon bath in the back of her throat, and she commanded that bath to boil at will. And when polite company bristled at her cussing, she always said, "Baby, I got to give it to you in the language that you understand." I always wanted to know where this thunder came from. And she told me that she found herself married to a man who liked to fight, who liked his house clean when he came home, who liked to think of himself as a king. And Aunt Pat at 4'11", well, she was outmanned. So one wintry day, she cleaned herself up and she wiped down every corner of the house until her ammonia-dipped reflection glowed pine fresh. Dinner humming, gravy brewing in the fire's eye, onions happily smothered beneath the chops. And when Uncle came home, he hardly noticed the clean. That Pabst Blue Ribbon in him still wanted to fight. Some folks, you can try to please them all you want to, but they just got too much of the world bottled up in them. And she said to him, "Look, baby, I just cleaned the house." And he looked around and he saw the house cleaning, and still he was cuffing up his sleeves. And she said, "Now, if you want to do this, let's go down to the basement where there's space. We won't tear up the house." And my uncle smiled and started taking off his good work shirt. She said, "Let me just turn off the stove." And she met him at the basement stairs, where she took a deep breath and she said, "Okay, let's go. After you." And he nodded and he started down the stairs. And at about the third stair down, she put her little foot square in the middle of his back and she said, "Motherfucker, no!" And she kicked my uncle into the mouth of the basement. She sent him into the black, into the space where everything is possible. Locking the door behind her, she went back to the stove to fix herself a plate. Now, when she told me this story, she said, "Rainey, motherfuckers will sit you down to see if you have the strength to stand up. The world will whoop your ass and tell you that you gotta be nice about it. But anger is the power inside of you that lets you know you're alive, lets you know you're worthy, that you mean something. No, baby, that fire in your throat, trust it. Let it cook. Trust it to bubble, to singe, to be where it needs to be. Trust it to create, and then trust it to protect what you created." She said, "Baby, fuck being nice. Be kind. And the kindest thing you can do for a motherfucker is give it to him in the language that he understands." She said, "Baby, when they go low, you kick them down the stairs." She said, "Say it. When they go low, you. When they go low, you." She said, "This motherfucker thought he was a king. Baby, I gave it to him in the king's language." And that is how my Aunt Pat crowned herself. And it was hard to believe that my uncle ever wanted to fight, because every time I saw him afterwards, he said, "Give that woman what she wants." Ritual. This year, 2024, wanted to fight. It sat us down to see if we have the audacity to stand back up in 2025, to be who we were called here to be. This New Year's Eve, I invite you to invoke Aunt Pat, to clean the house, open the windows and let the haunt out. Let the air rapture anything that's been too heavy, and call your highest elevated ancestor in and let them whisper to you as you're cleaning. Ask yourself, who was I called here to be? And just before midnight, say out loud to yourself, I vow to hold myself sacred. I vow to give 2025 the King's English. And then 1 minute before midnight, find yourself some stairs. Open the back door and tell 2024, you go first. The TETRA. One more, or am I done? One more, okay. All right. Thank y'all. The Black Filipina Dictionary. And this is for Donna Kate Russian, who wrote the bridge poem. Bridge. That's a noun. Have you any idea the lung capacity necessary to inhale enough sky to hold our combined gravity? Hold. Verb. When a woman defines her own name, they'll whip her till she froths the spill of mangled doves. Cocked, crooked, blood-thick comets anointing the hissing sky. See her swing low? Swing low, verb. Got so bad, she barred the door and dressed herself in preparation to meet God. See, spider queens spinning webs from breath. See, no one breeds a black girl, a Filipina, to kink silk for herself. See, devotion. See, double back, too. Re-Harriet everybody across your braided spine, your bayonet and invitation, double back. Harriet? Verb, as in tubbin, means to uncage a mangled bird and sing her name until she levitates, till she knows her way home, home. Noun, as in Nieves, Fernandez. Verb, two, to go into the deepest jungles of yourself and find that which is most sacred and steal it back. Two, Nieves, Harriet. How many have you plucked, stixed, milked, and honeyed, haze, velveting your voice, cooing, what's higher than north, our brown lifted holy till amen is a remolded. Not of the Latin hymn, but and that's a verb, as in Mahalia, as in the hum we make as we slow dangle into the promised land. Promised land, noun. See, we don't put our hands up unless we know what we're reaching for. See, follow? See, why is Sandra lying down in her mugshot? See, this is Detroit, and Detroit is midnight, and doesn't Woodward owe Vincent a truer freedom song? See, the upper room hemorrhaging. See, Corin. See, Sandra. See, Ayana, too. Can you suck enough nirvana to choke the bolt thrust back into your barrel? See, if all bridges matter, why you keep crossing me? Verb. See, bridge. See, be a good girl and fork your tongue around Papa's good word. Noun. See, bridge. See, refracted through prisms that redistribute. My name code switch. My name tunnel. My name butterfly. My name. See, daughter. See, ruin. See, decayed. See, echoes. See, echoes a noun. See, mimic. See, mirror. See, mama engineered me to reach the other side. Verb. My mama unlocked her vertebrae to bridge her spine from Belletti to Detroit, mistake her for cobblestone, too focused on her left hand, raised sacral. Raised sacral. Yeah, you thought it was raised in surrender, that you didn't see her holy hand winding up her skirt. She caught bullets between her lips. Caught that amen in her carbon sky. In her call and response, she said that she calls and I respond. Said she sees lead to deliver me, a remolded hallelujah. She looked at me and she said, Lord, remember the sweat. Sweat, noun. Water's always in service of calling forth truth. See, to mold holy water, we dab hallelujahs into our cupped hands until God comes. Call this conjure, call this pulling the spirit right up out the reservoir. But two, to bless the river, they whispered nigger into it 7 times, and they called this a flint anointing. See, Detroit is codenamed Midnight on the Underground Railroad, the last stop before freedom. And when you get to that river, you must cross. See, they tried to teach our tongues to be too curdled, to defy the current. They call this cottonmouth. See, to undo the call over your tongue, simply speak your name in the voice of who loves you the most. See, then they dance to their own haunt. Banshees, squirrel disastrously twisting under the danger of your name. Spirits moaning in the key of lead. Verb. Sis. Begin like this. It is safe. Cross. Knowing it ain't never been safe. See, double back and begin again. It is safe. Cross. Remembering that Nunai means mama. and her first pulse is our gravitational pull. Remember, each morning, waking up feeling too much and not enough. Each morning to inhale and believe the sky will hold me upright. And see, Mama said, there's enough nirvana in your name to levitate. See, Mama named me after the echo of her popping wires. My mama was a double-jointed drawbridge, said, get tired of arcing and splitting. Remember, your name is the gospel. See, swing low, sing write a passage, see midnight, see nobody knows how to call your name quite like you. My mama said, you get tired, get you a mirror and call your own name. Close your eyes. Taste your name in the back of your throat, looping on the back of your tongue. And just feel yourself push that sound into open air. Say your name. Let it cross. Warriors earn their weapons by learning to define their own name. Didn't do it. Begin again. It is safe. Remember, in my language, my name is pronounced promised land. And here we harriet each other free, cross. It is safe. To harriet means to uncage a bird and sing her name until she levitates, cross. It is safe. You harriet me like this. When the world tries to origami me small, sing my name louder than anything that ever tried to fold me, cross. Touch the destruction inside of yourself. It is safe. Get a mirror. It is safe. Look into your own eyes and see every system that has to burn. Cross. It is safe. Haze your name. Speak your name. Have the courage to speak your name until you hear the flight pattern whistling each syllable. Speak your name into velvet. Your name, feathers. Your name, mother tongue, conjure. Your name, drinking gourd. Your name, spirit chant. Your name, braided map. Praise stepping us home, cross. It is midnight, and this is how I want to be loved. Get you a mirror and speak the gospel of your name and watch as these plantations ignite in lines like sugarcane at harvest. See into that fire. It is safe. And touch the creation inside of you. I am here to birth the new world. Cross. Let the ginger fire of your name shiver up your hips, crackle your spine, popping joyful like fireworks. Yes. Let the joy of your name rise into a current the way water rises unapologetically, flooding maps, rivers, washing every cell of your body open, cross. It is safe. Look into your own eyes in the mirror and see that your joy has always had a rhythm outside of oppression. That staccato in the celebration between my great-grandmother's indigo palms and your Lola's feet planting tinkling in the dirt. Let that pulse sing in your bones. Cross. Hasn't this rhythm always carried you through? Cross. Electric is gospel. You are a shrine to the unconquerable. It is safe to let this joy rise. Invoke on memories of what it is to cross. Arms flung, intoxicated on your own beauty, drunk on your own heaven. It is safe. Get you a mirror and say, I'll mourn anything, too scared to see you whole. And you eulogize anything too broken to hold my name. Cross. And this love between us will conjure a reckoning of ancestors. And I'll be the alchemy that you've prayed for. It is safe that in my language your name will be pronounced. Amen. See, this is the conjuring. See, when you look into your own eyes and you say, Lord, baby, when you look into your own eyes and you call out your own name and you say, Lord, God comes. Thank y'all.
Look, I'm just going to call them all up. One more round for Sharina Rodriguez Sharp. Reverse order. Chase Morris. Emily Howard.
What else is your obligation in life than to find your purpose? Like, why are you here? Why love yourself? Why care? Why give love? These are the questions that we explore, and these are the questions that we ask ourselves. It starts from the inside out. It's like a ripple of change.
Deep breath in. This is the land of your fears.
There's these times when we are performing, one of us will connect with our higher selves, and that'll speak through us on stage, through poetry.
Detroit is ground zero for some amazing stuff. And sometimes when things break in a certain way, they shatter, you have no choice but to realign. And that's what's happening here.
We all have different stories, but we intertwine perfectly. The story was always brought up how nobody believed in us, how nobody actually listened to us, how nobody actually wanted to hear what we had to do or what we want to do.
I just feel like we have a very special dynamic that is unique, that you don't find anywhere else in the world.
We use art to challenge. We use art to uplift. We use art to inspire. They're instrumental in demonstrating that you can take something really hard and turn it into something just gorgeous. They're magicians. That's the art of what they do.
I came to Detroit from New Orleans, from Katrina. I had nothing, coming up here, and all I had was an accent and really dark skin. My mom used to always tell me, yo, you can't walk around this house upset. If you're gonna be upset, you need to write some of your thoughts down. And when I used to do it, my thoughts had rhythm to it, so I was like, oh, I might be a rapper. This might happen. This might be some things.
You up against the black immaculate activists, enduring accurate radioactive hits in battle formation from your hindsight. You scream, good God, that man passion is so abstract. Yet imagine this, my atoms shift and glisten. If you can't envision it, dare to laugh at this. I'll tap into my inner God, turn this block to a synagogue / 3D thriller rapture clip. I'm sorry. That's my subatomic imagery imploding. I didn't mean to expose you these thematic scripts. Now back to this. So approach the opposing poet whose pen is potent, impulsive, and posting with probes in it. I chronologically study its palpitations. My genetic makeup carries a cadence that correlates it, defining me in this pen. I want, not fond of our limitations, boy, I write.
My idea was for these students to meet each other and to be able to talk about anything they wanted, any dream they wanted, any change they wanted, to be able to say whatever they needed to say in order to confront that. And they met, And the third day in, we went and we pitched for this community grant with a poem that we wrote that day. And we all went together and we won the grant. $857. The mission of Obsidian Blues is to use art as a tool to heal and transform any space we're in, but especially this city. It's becoming a movement. We use art to challenge, we use art to uplift, we use art to inspire.
I hated myself my entire life. I did not start knowing who I was, liking who I was, and loving who I was until I met these people. Now that I can accept the parts of myself that aren't so pretty or perfect or that I wouldn't want everyone to see, when I see them and when I let other people see them, I just feel full, you know? The trick is to swallow at will, plop purple pills on tongue's middle, a little ink spill to dispel, Khadija misspelled, living a motherless life. Mommy, a silent smoke slipped through, my fingers wrapped around hers, turned cold, broke off in my hand, crumbled to bitter sand, and I will never understand her fight. Coasting into current, this white moan had a hold on my home and her soul drifted into light. It must be nice.
Begin. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 9, 30, 16, 17, 9, 3, 4, 18, 19, 14, 15, 16. What? Still, everything's real in the field. 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 Switch it up.
Yeah, hip-hop called me last night, told me it wanted so bad, ironic. Every beat the touch nowadays need a toe tag, iconic. Magic bullet manifested in a human form, cause all I want is dead presidents and never took a form. Fuck physics, fuck the way you think it's supposed to be, my nigga. Fuck a uniform, never want a steady check to be the only thing determine my trajectory. Reserved for us like a workhorse, hard-headed like a fucking unicorn. Tell me that I can't, bet you that I will. Turn it in the hood, sell it as a check, give me like a meal. Ooh, oh my squad here, guard tier, all steel, paw bear, oh yeah, my flow carry bodies. Ooh, young lord, broad head, spark fear, talk weird, soft beard, thought clear, and debo, everybody. Ooh, come to snap the chain up off your neck, abolition, repetition, no slaves allowed to set a circle, purple rain. I'm a prince, of course I own the day, revolution leader, meet Vegeta, pick the fraud till the super saiyan, grand money for the truth, my crew is saying, I pledge allegiance to myself, I said I pledge allegiance to above, I said I pledge allegiance to my help, I said I pledge allegiance to the lovers, one nation under squad, indivisible, underpaid, overworked, and invisible. I became the country I deserve, yeah, from my homies, only flag that I serve. Wait, I pledge allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the... Okay, what the fuck we getting into tonight? still hit hard. Rediscover my soul family reunion. Voltron with my peoples, we don't feel fit. Jack, gentlemen, pass that bourbon like it's communion. Had to shake that devil up off my back. Had to break that shovel they tried to bury me with. Take whatever they thought would crack. Couple 45 that, couple 45 stacks in the lyrics when you hear the black or black. Reload, reload. On the meter man trying to catch a nigga slipping. Reload, reload. On the $50 parking ticket, bitch, you tripping. Reload, reload. On the governor dirty, yeah, the water flip me sipping ludicrous. So I wear the nappy like a crown. Afro Futurist, a pugilist. Mike Tyson with the hooks and Bison with the verse. Perfect. You ain't got no hits, man. Me, I got all them. Call them. Vontae's perfect. Wait. In the city where the man came back from the dead. Hey, call me on. Reincarnated in the quartet trying to get bread. Aloha, motherfucker, multi-motherfucker. CNYC 3 code red. I pledge allegiance to myself. I said I pledge allegiance to a pub. I said I pledge allegiance to my help. I said I pledge allegiance to the love is one nation under squad. Indivisible, underpaid, overworked, and invisible. I became the country I deserve. Yeah, from my homies, only flag that I serve. Wait, I am my own autonomy, man. I am my own economy. Built with a different constitution. Fuck, I look like worrying about who assigning me. These are the births of the fire. The genesis of something new, Deuteronomy. Wait, you should honor me, yeah, you should honor me. Never been too impressed with stars. Always too focused on the signs. Astrology over astronomy. They guided me, always reminding me. If it don't love you, don't serve. You become what you deserve. Said, if it don't love you, don't serve. You become what you deserve. Say, you a nation all your own. Where there's love, there's always home. Give me some cargo shorts with chocolate forces. Ooh. 40 ounces of motors red in the front of porches. Tiny basement, 100 something that's in it. The funky bass on infinite. The blackest berries are now in orchard. Whoa. Yeah. Camera phone to capture the portrait of motion and ocean is where there could have been bullets over these bullets, but nah, not the time, nah, I mean. Yeah. Niggas dying, nah, I mean. Nah. Hit the salt with liquefied when we sick and tired and liquid ride, babe. Hit you with the Nicky and the kind of love grind, nah, I mean. Yeah. All that I need, all that I need, all that I need, 40 acres of big deposit, 1 million portions for my niggas and every trauma that leave us tortured. Little shit to be adding up in the biggest sources. To start a kit for the reparation of my hood endorses. Oh, but for now, I take color, no word tomorrow. Making up holidays for my black heroes, everybody wanna disregard. Boss so confused like, damn, that's a real thing. I be like, hell yeah, where the hell you been? National Massacre Masters Day. Quit your job, feeling like God in the 7-3, get this on the 5-11, could a nigga live. Feeling like God in the 7-3, get this on the 5-11, could a nigga live. Feeling like God in the 7-3, get this on the 5-11, feeling like God in the 7-3, this on the 5-11, could a nigga live. Black Madonna, black girl, black Caesar, black boy. Black nappy, black Twitter, black rhythm, black joy. Hey, always trying to pay my canvas, prison, knowing blurry. Not tonight, right away, this night stare. Black Madonna, black girl, black Caesar, black boy. Black nappy, black Twitter, black rhythm, black joy. Always trying to pay my canvas, prison, knowing blurry. Not tonight, rather wear this night stare. Ooh, can you feel it? Ocean couldn't drown it, chains couldn't slave it, bullets couldn't kill it. Cops couldn't beat it, death couldn't tame it, government couldn't steal it. Black fish, pig, Henny straight in the kitchen with the skillet cooking. All this God here got you looking. All that joy, all that joy, all that joy, all that joy. G. Woo. found the distance being ignored. I found resistance in the joy. I found the glistening and destroyed. I found persistence in Detroit, yeah. I found the mission unemployed. I finally listened to the boy. The one in my head, imagination still intact. Adults told me to avoid. That is still blessing by Big Shine that I live the life I deserve. My new national anthem, it turned my econoline into a phantom. The nerve got to dodging the stables and whipping that big body savage. I speed and I swerve. I do this for the culture and my niggas out here untethered. I'm flying up into the void.
Everything that grows comes from the black, the earth. Black is the space where everything is possible. And hasn't that rhythm always carried us through? Let that joy rise, arms flailing, intoxicated on your own beauty, dancing to your own ashe.
Pardon all this hubris, Judas. You just cannot cross with God, producer, cruiser. Fix your mouth to speak and not sing. Coleman, Yaka, Shaka, Zulu, Chakra, Voodoo, cockadoodle these acapellas. Gotta come harder than that. All my life been working from a depthless kid, I swear. Thriving might be the blackest thing I ever did. Everyone we've lost is still right there in the water. The sea level's rising, it's us uncivilizing our rays. There's so many of us still at the bottom of that depth, still turning to water always running. Water always running like Minty and Shotgun, like Fred's Mouth in Chicago, like Detroit. For the ice, wood, and the black burn righteous, and the ocean's sweet, always running, always running, always running towards freedom.
Where's midnight in your body?
You willing to keep crossing midnight to go back for yourself?
Breathe in your genius.
What of yourself are you going back for?
Breathe out anything that disconnected you from it.
Beloved, what if you are bigger than oppression?
Breathe in your worthiness.
Its power is real, but shit, so is yours.
Breathe out oppression.
Black, brown, or John Brown, you already know the answer to the question. Do you know what we do in the dark? We get free.